Don't mind the shark plushie. I've just had that since I moved. So, this was something that I wanted to talk about for a while. Ever since some crap that I've seen about 3 weeks ago. And it was only until earlier this week that I thought about talking about it. Please, for the love of fucking God, drive safe. Just slow down, use your damn turn signals, and actually follow the roads. It's so frustrating because I see a bunch of fucking idiots outside just speeding it down 10 miles when there's a bunch of fucking traffic and they don't even use signals. Like, I swear, if I see you on the road and you're not doing any of that shit, I'm gonna honk you to fucking hell. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I hate that people my age get a bad rap for this because they don't understand the laws at all in regards to driving. And I'm not going to pretend like I'm some sort of saint on the road. I do certain things that may be looked down upon, especially with passengers in there. That's why I have the luxury of driving alone most of this time. And why sometimes I struggle to bring other people to where they need to go. It's just so frustrating because there are certain things, like I've seen 2 accidents in 1 week. That is one too many, in my opinion. Especially with a certain highway that is not that far from my house. There's an accident there, or I swear to God, there's an accident there pretty much every morning. Why do we have to wait another hour on the same fucking highway just so that we can get to where we need to go? It's ridiculous. And look, I understand that getting a license can be a hassle, even a permit, when you're just below 18 or just below 17. I almost forget the laws for my state, at least, in regards to when you can get a license and when a permit is allowed. But still, there's too many people that are uneducated on the road, and it shows. Like, especially people that don't have license plates. Like, they have the slip, the paper with the plastic on top. Those people I find to be the most incompetent on the road. Like, they genuinely don't do much. They don't have driver's etiquette. Like, they don't have any respect on the road. And I especially remember when there was somebody that was speeding. They were right behind my ass at 50 miles an hour. And then I just flick them off because I am that kind of person. I will flick you off on the road. And she just flicked me off back. I hope her tires popped when she got home and that she had to pay $120 just to replace them. Probably $200 because tires are freaking expensive, man. But yeah, I understand. Again, you have to learn these things. It's something that I feel very old for saying, but it's true. Driving is a privilege, not a right. And it does me good to remember that. Especially when certain things happen. Like, I got in an accident about a few months ago. And I have another dent in my car. First one was because my brother ran backwards into a bump. But the thing is that in these kinds of situations, I understand it can be very nerve-wracking. Really, the best thing you can do is go back to them, check on anybody involved, including the driver and any passengers, and just either exchange insurance or assist or have an assistance for the insurance, because that's exactly what happened. I had to get assistance from my dad when that happened because I don't have the information for the insurance. And this is something that just can't be swept under the rug, right? These kinds of things are very real. Like, if I wasn't paying enough attention, or if nobody paid enough attention, I would have gotten into the hospital from a T-bone accident. It's very serious shit, which leads me to some small things for anybody that's gonna drive or anybody that's new to driving. Just small things that can help you on your way. First, always have your keys on hand when you get in and when you get out. Very simple, especially when you get out, because the last thing you want is to lock your car, make sure that it's locked, and then you find that your keys are still inside. Always have them in your hand, especially if they have a ring loop. Have the ring on one of your fingers. Just drive. Second, use your goddamn turn signals. That way you'll piss off way less people on the road, and you'll actually just, again, driver's etiquette, because it's not selling out where you're going, it's selling out your next move. And that's what we need, because there's a bunch of indirect communication that has to be discussed when you're on the road, especially if your turn signals aren't working. If you have an arm, well, if you're driving, there's no reason for you not to use turn signals. Even with your arm. Left arm, when you need. Like that, then go left, that, stop, I believe, and something to go right, I forget. But still, best to be educated with that kind of stuff. 3, understand that there is a bit of wiggle room. You know, 5 mile, any speed limit that you see, you can go 5 miles above before there's some legitimate trouble by the police, which can sometimes lead to people exploiting that, but still, just know the rules. Like, there's a certain area that has 4 lanes, even though it's not a highway, and some people tend to drive pretty fast. And then, you know, respect school zones. We got kids that are going around. They need to get home. I was a kid, you were a kid before. Just make sure that you don't go fast enough to where you'll seriously injure somebody. And on one other tip, if you have anybody on the road, make sure you go slower than you're used to, because it's not just you that you're endangering, it's also anybody else. I've had way too many close calls with people in the car. It's a genuine regret of mine, and I hope, I can seriously hope that I apply everything from the past whenever I have somebody else. There was a recent example with that kind of stuff, and I think I handled it decently. I don't know how the other person feels, but it's there. Really, it's just all about speed, because speed can make or break your drive. Almost certainly you can break it if you're on the road, just regular roads and streets, and it can make it when you're on the highway. Which also leads to another thing, don't be scared about the highway. Sure, it's intimidating at first because you're going at a considerably faster speed than normal. You know, you can go 60, 70, some people go to 90 on occasion, or even 100. But really, it's just about keeping up. If you keep up, you'll be fine. It's similar to where switching lanes, you have to match the speed of whichever lane you're switching to, which always involves a bunch of space between your car and the car that's in front of you. The car behind you, if they're being absolute cunts, then of course it's going to be a little tricky, because I've had situations where either they turn without signals and I have to honk their bitch ass so they can get back, or they use their turn signal at the instant that they start driving. You don't want to do that, because that's another way to piss people off. And I think that's more or less enough for me to cover. It's just a rant about being on the road. I mean, there could be a few things that I can discuss, given from experience and some other criteria, I suppose. I might discuss that in the future, because I do think that my knowledge can help somebody, but, you know, just play it safe. Also, check your tire pressure at least once a month, because if you don't, then you're going to pay for it dearly, and I've already done that twice. At least I've had 2 issues involving tire pressure, even though, you know, tires is a whole other thing. So yeah, there's a bunch more to discuss, but maybe I'll discuss that later. So that's it. You take care of yourself.